Good morning everybody, welcome to the Guild of Dog Trainers Puppy School. My name is Mccarthy and I'll be here with you over the next 8 weeks to help you train your puppies. I'll be joined by my colleague Les Graham and we'll be ably assisted by Vicky Laws. We take a holistic approach to dog behaviour and training, so over the coming weeks we're aiming to give you some information on an array of subjects regarding your dog's physical and psychological health. The training manual that I've just given out contains details of all of the training exercises that we're going to be working through over the coming weeks. So in that guide there'll be how we're teaching and lots of information relating to why we start teaching these exercises, why we train the way that we do, and the ultimate outcomes that we're hoping for. You'll also find within your handout pack a comprehensive guide to many different websites, DVDs and useful books that will accompany the training course to give you the very best chance of success with your puppies. The results that you achieve with your puppies will be largely dependent on the work that you put in when you're not at this training location. So use this to come and pick the instructor's brains, get some different methods. If you're having problems with your puppies in different locations, for example the park, or maybe in the house, or walking on a loose lead down the pathway, come and pick our brains. We'll give you some information to help you out in your own locations, but it's down to the practice that you do in your own normal environment that gives you the very best training result. In your course guide there's lots of information therein regarding how dogs learn, so ensure that you read that thoroughly this evening when you get home from the class. But just in brief, dogs don't speak English, so what we're talking about is teaching dogs a command for a specific action. So the more simple we can keep the training exercises, the quicker dogs will learn and the more beneficial that is for us. Voice tonology. What are we talking about when we say that? But it's really important when training puppies. You must remember they're a blank canvas, they're all very young dogs, so we need to keep things as simple as we possibly can, and we need to use our voice in a way that the dogs can understand to make things clear. So when you're training, we tend to babble and get the dogs all excited, which makes it very difficult for the puppies to distinguish the commands from the general chitter chatter and excitement that we have. So do remember, when training your puppies, your command should be delivered in a clear and crisp way. So for example, when you're teaching your puppy to sit, the command should be sit, and then thereafter your praise can be nice and gushing, so we get lots of physical and verbal praise when the dog does what we want, because that's what's going to motivate the dog to repeat that action. We've got lots of different breeds in the class today, so if you find that when you praise your dog they become overexcited and jump up, particularly Angelo over here gets very excited, so therefore you need to have much calmer praise than, for example, Anita with the Rottweiler. He's a little bit sluggish, so he needs to be kind of excited a little bit more. So it's very much dependent on the breed and type and the temperament of your dog is how we start to deliver the praise. Timing. When training puppies, your timing is absolutely crucial to the speed at which the dogs learn. So to be fair to the dogs, we have an association time of around about 2 seconds. So for example, once we've delivered a command, the dog carries out that action, and at the moment we may be luring the dog with food. As soon as the dog carries out the action, that's when the praise needs to be delivered, so that the dog makes the link with your praise, the reward, and the action that the dog exhibited. I notice some of you have already been having a little look through your handout pack. Do make sure that you have a good read through before next week, and there's a good deal of information in there regarding the socialisation of puppies and the critical periods that you must work within. Training your puppy with environmental distractions. So by that I mean other dogs in public parks, horses that you may see in the countryside. When you go to the park there'll be football matches with the movement of the ball, and that can be very difficult to control your puppy in situations like that. As the course progresses and as your puppies become more au fait with what we're asking them to do, then it's important that you go out into all sorts of environments and locations and start teaching the puppy that even though there are lots of other exciting things going on around, that the dog must still pay attention and respond to you. We've got a lovely mix of dogs here on the course. What you just need to be aware of is that all dogs learn at different rates, very much the same as people, but different breeds mature at different rates, so therefore some of the dogs mature more quickly and are more able, some of the dogs mature more slowly, so it takes longer for those to get to the same level. But you do get there, but it's just some learn a whole lot quicker than others. Over the next few weeks, we'll be having a look at you working with your dogs and getting to know, of course, not only you, but getting to know your puppies a whole lot better as well. And we'll be observing them from a training and a development point of view as well. And then, therefore, if we see anything developing in the puppies that we think you need to be aware of, then we'll inform you as the course progresses. The exercises that we're going to teach your little puppies over the next few weeks are the sit, the stand, the down, the stay in those positions, also walking on a loose lead, the recall, the leave it command, the watch command, and we'll also be sending the dog to bed. As this is the first lesson, I hope you're all feeling relaxed. Really, this today is a gentle introduction for the puppies. It's about getting them used to this environment. There's lots of distractions around, lots of funny, strange noises. Other puppies, of course, are very interesting. So don't get too worked up about what we achieve. It's very much, we're going to do a few exercises and just induce the dogs to pay attention to us and work on some very basics. But the most important aspect of today is for you to enjoy it and, of course, for your puppies to enjoy it as well. We're going to start today by keeping calm and not getting the puppies all overexcited. I'm going to introduce to you what we call the watch command, which basically is getting the dogs to look at you, to make eye contact when we deliver that command. So the way that we introduce it and the way that we start training is simply, as with all of the other training exercises, is to get the action that we want before we link the command to it. It's not a case of what we do now is wave treats around and keep repeating commands. We get the action, we link the command, and then we deliver the reward. So for the watch, all I'm going to ask you to do is to use some of the food rewards we've got over here, or some of you I know have got your own. So get your food reward, just show that to your puppy, and whilst you're sitting down in your chairs, just move the food reward gently up to your face, and all you're looking for really is the dog to make eye contact with you. As soon as the dog does that, immediately release the food and praise. Don't hang about, don't keep waving the food, don't try to lengthen the time the dog's looking at you. In these early stages, all we need is the dog to make eye contact with you, however brief that is, and then immediately reward the dog and praise. Does that make sense to everybody? So let's have a look at Miss Schnauzer. Perfect, that's it, you said watch, and then as soon as she watches, as soon as you get what you want, release the food immediately, praise as you did, well done. Okay, let's have a look at Lola number 2.
Lola, watch.
So that's it, just show her the food, that's it, and as you move it up to your face, as soon as you get that eye contact...
She's more interested in you.
Well, who wouldn't be?
Okay. Lola, watch.
That's it, so let her sniff. As soon as you get it, don't make it wait too long, and then reward and praise, okay? Have a scratch first. And it's perfect. Excellent, well done. Okay, have a little practice with that. Let's have a look at little Blue. And then as soon as you get that, so you just missed your opportunity to get in. So just move it back towards his nose, let him have a little smell. Move it gradually away. That's it, just let him have a little smell. And then move it back away to you. Watch, quickly reward when you get that right action. Practice a few times. Our timing is really critical with all of the exercises that we're teaching. The reward needs to come within about 2 seconds of the dog's action. So just make sure you're watching your dog and you take the opportunity to reward as soon as you can. Puppies are really, they're all really young, and what we need to do is not to keep pushing for more. We just want to, as soon as we get the action we're trying to teach, reward. Don't prolong it, just reward immediately. Okay, let's have a look at little Rotty. So that's it, let him have a little sniff, move towards your face. I know, have another little one. Lucky you got a whole pot.
I've got some.
Okay, so just when he looks at you, when you get what you want, then command watch and then reward immediately.
Check out, watch.
Let him smell it again, back up towards you, watch, and then as soon as he does, perfect, reward. Okay, and let's have a look at... Okay, that's it, now move it towards your face. quick as you like. As soon as he looks, say watch, and then release the food quickly now. And praise. Good, excellent, okay. We're going to begin today by teaching the dogs to walk on a loose lead, so using the heel command. And all I'm going to ask you to do when you come out is individually come with me, and we're going to start with the dog on our left hand side with a food reward, and all we're going to do is to reward the action that we think we want when we're walking down the street with the puppy. So if the puppy's in the right place, that's when we get in the command of heel, and then we issue the food reward and plenty of verbal praise. So over a period of time the dog makes a link with that position, that command, and the rewards that follow. Okay. Okay, so when you walk, just pop into the shade a second, your hand nice and low, the lead loose, and encourage him to walk along by your side. When he's doing exactly what you want, you're getting the command of heel and then reward immediately. So just walk a little way down there and then turn around to your right and back. Okay, see how you go.
Come on, and slow, and slow, and slow.
That's it, let him smell the sausage. And then you want to keep your lead loose, if you can, that's it, and off you go.
Right, and slow, and slow.
That's it, and then say heel when you get the right thing.
John, I'm staying gently on wide.
Okay.
And slow, heel.
Perfect, and you see what he's doing now, he's walking nicely. The only thing is you're going a bit slow, because you're trying to faff around with your lead and your treats and everything, so it's all new, isn't it? But just walk a few paces, you can go back that way, a few paces with him on your left. And what you're doing, unfortunately, you're rewarding. See, when he's walking along, you want to go, Angelo, heel, and reward there by my leg. You're putting your hand right there, so he has to lurch forward. Yep, perfect. Just have one more little go with that.
Right, come here. And slow, and slow, heel. Wrong way.
I've asked him, John.
So lead loose, that's it.
Heel.
And now reward, perfect. That's good. Okay, lead slightly looser. Show her the little food treat before you go off. That's it. And now reward. Good. Perfect. Your command's good. So you want that command in and then you reward as you are. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, just do one more. See if you can get one more reward in and then we'll go back to your place. And then reward. Perfect. Excellent. Loads of fuss and praise. Well done. And then back to your seat. Superb. It's really, when you're going for a walk, having your lead about that length. William, what's this? Good boy. And then literally walk along. William. Oh, good boy. Heel. Good lad. So when he's doing the right thing, that's when you bend down and reward immediately, okay? So, William. Oh, what's this? Good boy. William. So just the main thing is, good lad. When you're walking along, heel. Good boy. Okay? Have a little practice of that. So you lead about that length, but your lead needs to be nice and loose. And when he does exactly what you think he should be doing, that's when you give the reward and the praise, okay? So get in the heel command when he's there, and then immediately release the food and praise, okay?
Heel.
So instead of holding your arm right back like that, that's it, that's fine. Then just walk along. Perfect, that's it.
Good boy.
That's it. Go again a little bit. And then turn around back this way. So what we want to do, you want to turn, let's have a little bit of that. You want to turn to the right. Good boy. So keep your hand nice and low and just let him just follow the food there a little bit. And when he's just on the loose lead, heel and reward, okay? Okay. Now let's just have a little look with the food, because what he's doing at the moment, he's not interested particularly in you.
No.
He's kind of over there, and just by default of where the lead is,
Yeah.
that's where he stays.
Yeah.
So let's just try and teach him with the use of something nice.
Which side?
To left, yeah. So with the use of the food really, you can have the lead a second,
Yeah.
just so you want it kind of loose as you can. Good boy. So just blue, heel, blue. Oh, what's it? Heel, good boy. Just so that again we start to kind of get him to focus on us and make a link with the command of heel, being that position but also being really rewarding. Blue, heel. Oh, good boy. It's clever. Blue, blue. Oh, heel. Oh, what's this? Heel. Oh, good boy. Here we are. It's clever. Ready? Heel. Okay, here you go. But just nice and loose if you can. Brilliant, and then reward, perfect. That's it, just round again. Good, and then just try when you're out, obviously at home, try and stand upright, because you end up with a really exhausted when you get back from the park. But just already, because you're pulling,
Yeah.
it's like if I push, you fight against it. So because you're pulling him, he's fighting to get away from you. So you want it to keep it nice and loose, relaxed lead, and induce him to be with you using the food and your praise, rather than just by the tautness of the lead. So have a little go again. Just be really careful about the speed. When you put it down, just be really careful about the speed that you move it, just so that you really want to pretty much hold it still.
Does it have to go down completely?
Yeah, I mean you can, the little greyhounds, they're quite difficult, but you can reward for kind of like a little bit of a down if you like, and then progress it forwards.
Okay.
Or you can just put a little bit of pressure, as their knees are bent, you can just put a little bit of pressure just down to get the dog backwards.
Lola, Lola, sit, down.
Ah, well done, reward, well done, perfect. Excellent. Wow, that's good, well done. Fantastic. How's it going over here with Angelo?
Sit, Angelo. Angelo,
Isn't it? Eyes light up, bouncing around. So you can use all of these tools to help you with your training a little bit. So I tend to think, let's have Angelo. Oh, Angelo, what's that? Can I borrow him for a sec?
Yeah, of course.
So just even for things like just before your dinner, or just before their dinner, you can just practice literally with walking along. Angelo, what's this? Oh, good boy. Angelo, heel, good boy. A little bit of sausage. Angelo, whoa. Ready? Heel, good boy. Woo. Heel, heel, good boy. And you see you got their attention completely as well. Do you want to have a little go at that with Lola? Because you can do it with their food, or you can even get like a little bit out, you know, at lunchtime, just put something in, little practice, just around the garden, on or off the lead, just getting in the command of heel with the reward from the bowl. And you can just put your thumb over some of the food so it can get a little bit out. Okay, is anybody, all those exercises that we've taught, so we've done the watch, the sit, the down, and that walking on a loose lead. Anybody got any questions about any of those that we've done? That all simple? Easy to practice, remembering what we were saying about practicing 2 or 3 times, 10 minutes a day. You can easily just build it into your routines, you know, when you're watching the TV in the evening, waiting for the microwave to ping or whatever you're doing. Just have a little practice with the lay down, release the food. Most important things to remember is don't nag your dog, you just want to get in a command as the dog's going into that action already. So we used earlier the example of the sit. So when the dog's going into the sit, that's when we give the command. When you're doing the watch, you just get the dog, as soon as he looks at your face, then the command, then the reward. Easy? One more little thing to practice for you this week, because I shouldn't think you've got enough to do. When you feed your dogs, one of the easiest ways just to teach a dog to watch you reliably is using the food bowl. So just for the next few days, you'll need to put the leads on the dogs at feed times. Yeah? I love it, all silent, staring. Leads on. So what you do, you hold the dog on the lead tightly, food on the floor, out of the dog's reach. We'll have him to demonstrate then. So, go on in little fella, what's this? So, put your food down, keep the dog's lead taut like that. Good boy, take it. As soon as he looks at you, release the food. So lots of the dogs differently will go through different stages. Some of them will just try and drag and whine and moan. Just hold your lead tightly, and as soon as the dog looks, relax your lead and give the command of take it, or whatever you decide your command is going to be. Oh, it's clever. So I'll put the food on the floor, hold the lead, take it, good boy, take it, that's clever. Quick to learn some stuff, isn't it? Is that clear? So literally by next week it should be a case of you won't be putting your lead on at feed times, you'll be putting the bowl on the floor, the dog will be sitting automatically, staring at you, waiting for you to give the release command. Okay, as long as you're consistent. So lead on every time you feed the dog. What, most dogs on 3 meals a day? Yeah, so I mean that's so much, 3 times a day. If I could do any maths, it would, you know, I'll tell you how many times you're going to practice that before next week. It's a lot, isn't it? Yeah, 21 times. Excellent. So, I mean, you know, you're going to have it sussed in 21 times, aren't you? Yeah.
Because she's such a... Angelo, Angelo, Angelo.
That's it, let them smell the sausage. And then you want to keep your lead loose, if you can, that's it, and off you go.
Right, Angelo, Angelo.
That's it, and then say heel when you get the right.
Here, look.
Wow, that's clever. Relax your lead slightly.
Angelo, heel. Good boy.
And what you're doing, unfortunately, you're rewarding. See, when he's walking along, you want to go, Angelo, heel, and reward there by my leg.
Oh,
You're
right.
putting your hand right there,
Oh,
so he has to
I need
lurch
bring it
forward.
back,
Yeah,
yeah.
perfect. Just have one more little go with that.
Okay. Right.
A little bit of food in the top of the cone there, and then just you move it just gently aside and let him run.
Here, look.
Wow, that's clever. And one more little thing. That's it. Wow, they look fun. There it is. Come on, mate. It's just right there. Excellent. You're going to be quick. Brilliant. Well done.
Cheers, Ross, thanks.